Mika Häkkinen walks into the garage, and Ross Brawn and Eddie Irvine with the car have won that race together. And Eddie Irvine, Mika Häkkinen, David Coulthard come out onto the podium. Oh, great, great, great race.
So no Michael Schumacher, but a 10-point maximum for Ireland's Eddie Irvine, now in with a real chance of becoming Ferrari's first world champion for 20 years.
I'd actually been saving fuel at the start of the race, and I was hoping it wasn't going to break down, because at that stage I was going very slowly, and I was behind Barrichello, and the Italian press, if I had broken down then, would have murdered me. But you know, I just had to save fuel and try and save the brakes, and that's what I was doing. And then I started pushing and pushing. Then when Barrichello went in, that's when I really put the hammer down, and that's what got us ahead of DC.
Well, obviously this is my nightmare scenario. Not only have I taken my teammate off at the start, I've you know, finished second to a Ferrari. So obviously I'm very sorry for running into Mika, but I misjudged that corner. And then the rest of the race was just a case, I guess, of Eddie being quicker on those last few laps after the stop.
It was, after all, the end of the day result was acceptable. You know, like I said before the race, to come here to score points was important, and we did that. Whatever happens in the first corner, second corner, that's not now important.
And Eddie Irvine closing to within 2 points of the world champion. Michael Schumacher becalmed on 32. Frentzen scoring again. Coulthard now within 1 point of the German. Don't discount the Scot. And Ferrari, front-runners all year in the constructors, just hold their lead thanks to Irvine. 3 more points for Jordan. Hometown boy Wurz scoring a couple for Benetton. Another magnificent Austrian Grand Prix and drama right from the start, Tony.
No question about that. And David Coulthard, Mika Häkkinen on pole position. Coulthard on the inside there. He'd run over that inside of the track in warm-up to try and clear it up. He looks down the inside early on that very first lap. He was having a go, and Mika Häkkinen had to stay off that brake pedal a really long time. Irvine sneaks into third place. But Mika Häkkinen, for my man, stayed out very wide and late there on the classic racing line. A little gap had opened up, a temptation for David Coulthard. Not his mistake. He knew he had to go for it early on. A little tap on the rear wheel of Häkkinen there. And as a consequence, the field bunching up behind poor old Mika Salo on his debut, and poor old Johnny Herbert, with his car going so well, got punted up the rear there and lost his wing as a consequence.
McLaren boss Ron Dennis refused to blame anybody afterwards in public. What was said behind closed doors, would you think?
Well, there would be some recriminations, because obviously it is a team effort at the end of the day, and they have handed a victory for Ferrari. If Häkkinen could have got away, he may well have done it. Who knows? But all's fair in love and war.
What's your magical moment from this afternoon's Grand Prix?
Well, I mean, Häkkinen skiding through the field as he did, but coming across Jean Alesi. For me, Jean Alesi, even though he was on a two-stop strategy, look at this. Häkkinen in 9th place, 8th place there, Jean Alesi. Now, you think Jean's going to look in his mirror and say, oh, for goodness sake, I'll get out of the way. No, he's going for Fisichella. He goes for the jugular. He dives inside the two men who were on the front row last year and took each other out a year ago. Bang! Alesi goes through to 7th place. Häkkinen has to bide his time and tread very carefully.
Very much a team effort, as we always say. Wonderful strategy from Ross Brawn, and brilliant work once again from the Ferrari pit crew.
An Englishman, Nigel Stepney, who I work with at Lotus, is the man in charge of that pit crew at Ferrari. He's been there now for 6 years. Look at them, well drilled. And Irvine had stayed out to lap 44, the very last, so they put all the fuel, crammed it into the tanks of the Ferrari. And Ross Brawn had looked out, waited till the empty track came up, and there it goes. Out comes Eddie Irvine and into the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. And we thought, oh, it's not going very well. The Ferrari isn't going very well. We didn't know it was so full of fuel, and they were going for that incredibly late charge.
A wonderful achievement for Eddie Irvine here, answering a lot of his critics.
Yes, it is. And he's taken that huge pressure and weight of Ferrari onto his shoulders, taken the #1, by the horns, if you like. Look at this, and this pressure he's soaked up here. David Coulthard gets the Irishman to lock his brakes up there. He gets a scent moving into the kill because he smells that tyre smoke coming into his visor. There's the last lap, last corner. David, can he get past? Can he get close enough under that rear wing for a slipstream? No. 0.3 seconds at the end in it. One of the closest finishes I've seen for a long time. Two-time winner now, Eddie Irvine. He is absolutely delighted with that. Puts him on level terms with Johnny Herbert, who's also won 2 Grand Prix. Well done, Ferrari. Well done, Irv.
And just finally, it's all building up to a terrific second part of the season, isn't it?
It really is. And, you know, we haven't come to the boil yet. Low-scoring championship. There's going to be a lot of action ahead.
Tony Jardine, thank you very much indeed. And here's your complete rundown. Irvine's second Grand Prix victory. Coulthard second in Austria for the 3rd year running. Pole sitter Hakkinen third with the fastest lap. Frentzen fourth, same as Silverstone. Vert saving his best for home. Diniz once again in the top 6. 1 lap adrift. Trulli, Hill, Sarlo's Ferrari, Panis and Genet. Fisichella's engine failed. Badoa was 3 laps behind. The unfortunate Johnny Herbert 4. Zonta's clutch failed. The non-finishers, Barrichello's engine blew, Alesi ran out of fuel, De La Rosa's brakes failed, and Zanardi, very embarrassing, also ran out of gas. Defective drive shaft for Villeneuve, still no finishes for the 97 champion. Takagi's engine gave up, and Ralf Schumacher made a rare error for him. Next weekend we go to the German Grand Prix round the very quick Hockenheim circuit, blasting through the forest, qualifying 3:15 on the Saturday. We're live for the Grand Prix from 12:15 on August the 1st, and our build-up, by the way, includes the first instalment of an exciting new series, Martin Brundle's F1 Driving School. So we head for Schumacher country without the main man, but Ferrari's new Top Gun, Ireland's Eddie Irvine, has shown he's very capable of charging all the way to the world title. Good night to you all.